Hello, James McHale with ABC News Early Edition. Water levels are still rising on the New South Wales south coast, even though the rain is beginning to ease. Hundreds of people have been evacuated from their homes, schools were closed and many properties have been damaged. Anne Barker joins us live from the Sussex Inlet with the latest from Sussex Inlet rather. Now Anne, what is the current situation and weather warning for that area?
James, the water here is expected to peak around now, in fact, at 1.5 metres. And you can see behind me, the road here is a veritable river. There are several roads in this town that have been underwater since last night, and the water levels rose substantially overnight with torrential rains. They're saying about 460 millimetres of rain have fallen in the last 24 to 36 hours. There was a peak this morning with the high tide then, but in fact this afternoon another high tide around now is forcing the water as high as you can see it here. There are many houses in fact who've got water inside and lapping at their doorways or at their gates. Some houses we've been to, they've had their back gardens or their yards completely submerged underwater. They've lost furniture, they've lost plants or pot plants and so on. We've seen houses also in neighbouring areas like the St George's Basin. There's been substantial flooding there as well, and there have been quite a few people here at Sussex Inlet who have evacuated their homes, certainly today more so than last night.
Now on that, Anne, hundreds of people have been evacuated from where they are. Where have they gone?
Well, look, here at Sussex Inlet, most of them have, if they haven't gone to stay with friends or family elsewhere, or maybe moved even back to Sydney if they're from there, they've stayed at the bowling club, which was set up last night as an evacuation centre. There was a bit of doubt as to whether it would stay open tonight, but I have heard from the State Emergency Service that a lot of people have evacuated just in the last few hours. So I imagine that that centre will be a lot more full tonight, even though we expect the rainwaters to start subsiding, providing that the rain does abate a little bit from now. I mean, it is raining as we speak, but I think the expectation is this might be as high as the waters go.
And Anne, now whenever events like this occur, some residents fail to heed the warnings of authorities and they find themselves in trouble. Has there been any indication of that on this occasion?
Well, there have certainly been a lot of people who didn't heed the warnings last night. There were SES crews door-knocking homes very late last night, warning people that the waters were rising and that they should consider getting out. A lot of people obviously wanted to stay with their homes, protect their property, maybe move it to higher ground. If they had two-storey homes, a lot of them obviously chose to just take shelter upstairs. Today, I think some of those people have perhaps been stuck in their homes, not been able to get out. It's very hard for cars to move through the streets here. We did hear just before there was a fire crew that went through because at least 2 or 3 people apparently were trapped at the local caravan park here, and they had to go in with a boat on the top of their vehicle so that they could get those people out. There are always people who drive through floodwaters even though they're told not to. So certainly there are people who think that they'll be okay and then get into trouble, and others that just stay put and hope that they can ride it out.
Anne Barker at Sussex Inlet, thank you.
Thanks, James.